John Dodson versus Nathaniel Wood takes place on the prelims of UFC Fight Night 167 on ESPN Plus 25. Rio Rancho. Anderson versus Blachowicz 2. And as usual, I have no idea why this fight's on the prelims, but either way, I guess, and I think I'm starting to notice, because Arnold Allen was in exactly the same spot in UFC Raleigh on the prelims, I think they're doing it for the UK fans so that we can tune in. I'm sure that's the only explanation as to why John Dodson versus Nathaniel Wood would be on the prelims. Either way, I feel like Nathaniel Wood's got this one in the bag, okay? I really like John Dodson. I respect John Dodson as a fighter, and I feel like if Nathaniel Wood can pull off the win that I expect him to get, he will join a very select club of people. Of the likes P.O. Tian, Jimmy Rivera, Marlon Moraes, John Lineker, Demetrius Johnson twice. As much as those are a lot of names to have beaten John Dodson, those are also elite level fighters, every single one of them. So if Nathaniel Wood can win this fight, he'll prove himself as a real prospect in the division. I know his nickname's the Prospect already, which is amazing because that takes some level of confidence, because he has to... Once you set a nickname in MMA, you kind of have to stick to that nickname. And you can't be called the Prospect as your nickname when you're like 10 and 15. You know what I mean? So he had to do good once he had named himself that. So I like that confidence in himself, first of all. He's coming off big wins in the UFC, and he's got good wins as well. This isn't a guy coming in from the UFC on a 3-fight win streak just beating cans outside of the UFC like a lot of other people are. You look at his record. When he was 13 and 3, he fought a guy who was 28 and 11. That's like Masvidal level record nearly. You know what I mean? No, we're talking. Luca Levine was 12 and 1 when Nathaniel Wood was 12 and 3. He beat him. He beat Josh Reed, who was undefeated, 7-0 when he fought him. Before that, he fought a guy who was 9 and 1. Like, these are good, solid wins over solid competition in the UK. And he was destroying all of them over at Cage Warriors. I've been rooting for this guy since before he even joined the UFC, because I knew of him from Cage Warriors. I knew of him signing to the UFC. He came in, he's impressed every single time that he's went out there. He's submitted 3 guys in a row, which first of all is bizarre because he's a striker, which is insane to me, because I guess it just goes to show how dangerous his guard is, because guys end up shooting on him in like a panicky situation. He ends up putting it on him, obviously against Andre Ewell. I mean, Andre Ewell can still sling it out and make competitive fights, even the fight last weekend or just a couple days ago at UFC 247. Even though the judges maybe shouldn't have given it to him, he still slugged it out, and Nathaniel Wood made it look easy against Andre Ewell, just completely schooled him. I think that shows the level of opponent. Jose Alberto Quinones, I believe, was something like... I don't even know what Jose Alberto Quinones was. But he had a crazy good record in UFC. I think he was on a 6-fight win streak, I believe. Like, these are good names to have beaten outside the rankings, and also I feel like with John Dodson, I respect him. He's a very good fighter. He's very explosive. He has every chance of winning this fight. I'm not counting him out. He's a very good fighter. He's ranked for a reason. He's taken a lot of time off. Okay? And I'm allowed to say that because he has taken a lot of time off. He hasn't fought since February of 2019. And for an older guy who's 35 years of age, a year is a long time in a life. Like, and that's when things maybe start to... I don't know. I think that's just when the young, hungry up-and-comer, where this is all they're thinking about, seems to get the jump on some of these older veterans that fight once a year and are half in it, half out. I feel like Nathaniel Wood's got this one in the bag. Not to mention, he's a huge guy for bantamweight. Like, there's a lot of big... I feel like in every division, everyone's slowly gotten bigger because everyone's just getting better and better at weight cutting as the years go on. Like, some of these prospects are like, every featherweight is like 5'10" at least now. If they're going to be any good. They're 5'10" at least. That's crazy to think of the days of Chad Mendez's and Frankie Edgar's running around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at the size of these two, I mean, John Dodson, I think Nathaniel Wood's 5'6" or 7. John Dodson's 5'3", used to fight at flyweight. Nathaniel Wood's a big guy for the division, a long reach as well. He's got an 8.5 centimeter reach advantage, which isn't the most. It's like 3 inches pretty much. But a bantamweight, when there's not a lot of size disparity at such a low weight class, that goes a long way. Like, show me a 3-inch reach advantage at heavyweight and I'll just say fuck off. Like, light heavyweight, I mean, we just saw Jones have a 15 centimeter or so reach advantage over Dominic Reyes, and it didn't mean a damn thing. At the lower weight classes, I feel like it does. Every physical attribute is needed. I think Nathaniel Wood's got it. He's coming off an injury, but he's taken a long time off to heal and come back correctly. I feel like he's going to get the job done. And if he does get it done, he says he wants to go to London. I don't think he gets it done quick enough to go to London. I'll be honest with you, because London is what? 5 weeks after that? Less than that? A month after that? Yeah, about 5 weeks after. John Dodson's tough, man. John Dodson's a tough guy. I'm picking Nathaniel Wood here because I feel like he's just... The level that he's shown so far going through all of these opponents like they're nothing is just surprising to me. Okay? And it could be the case that John Dodson just cracks him out of nowhere, because John Dodson is very explosive. He's a veteran of the game. In all these fights that he's lost against Petr Yan, that was a competitive fight. He dropped Yan at one point. But I want to tell you something about Nathaniel Wood's chin. He has been rocked a couple times in his career. Okay? But I want to tell you something a little bit more. I would rather see that than see a guy never get hurt ever in his career. Nathaniel Wood has been hurt a couple of times in his career, and he's been rocked, but every single time, and he's even got a finish from coming behind by doing this, it's like a procedure for him. He gets hurt and he goes, right, I'm hurt, back against the cage, hands up, ready to throw back, ready to hand grab and everything, and just try and evade this. It's like, I don't know, it's like routine to him, like there's a switch that goes on in his head. I'm rocked, and then he just gets out of it. It happened in his UFC debut as well. He just got clipped, got hurt a little bit because the punch came. Like, I'd rather see that in a young prospect that knows what to do when he's hurt, rather than see a guy who's never been clipped on the chin, smoked through every level of competition that he's faced, because Nathaniel Wood has taken on top-level competition since coming into the UFC. Andre Ewell is no punk. I know he's not the best in the world, but he's no punk. Jose Alberto Quinones is no punk, as I said. I think he was on a 5-fight win streak before he even fought Nathaniel Wood. The guy he fought before that, what was his record? I think it was something crazy. Johnny Eduardo. 28-12. Okay, it's not the best record, okay? I don't know why I mentioned him. I just feel like Nathaniel Wood's got this one in the bag, and I would like to see him perhaps take on someone like the winner of Garbrandt versus Assunção, because there was some talk for a while that he was going to be taking on Cody Garbrandt next. And I really wanted to see that fight. So if he can take on the winner of Garbrandt versus Assunção, if it's Assunção, then so be it. Well, it's Assunção, fuck's sake. That's that ruined. But if it's Cody Garbrandt, that could be a very interesting fight, because the bantamweight division's in a situation right now where there's a bunch of contenders, no one's taking fights, and everyone's looking for a title shot. And no one knows who's going to get it, but it seems like it's going to be Aldo, but we don't know. So I feel like if Cody Garbrandt wins, and Nathaniel Wood can make the most of his microphone time and call him out, I reckon he'll get the fight. I think that's a good one. I know Cody Garbrandt wants the Petr Yan fight, but I reckon Petr Yan will have already signed a fight by the time that Cody Garbrandt's fought at UFC Columbus. That's in April. You know what I'm saying? Yan's going to probably be fighting Moraes or Sterling in the meantime. And with everyone booked up, Garbrandt versus Nathaniel Wood would be great. Or maybe Nathaniel Wood versus Cody Stamann. Or Rob Font. We'll see what happens. Song Yudong. A bunch of great names. Marlon Vera. Another great name. Nathaniel Wood said he wants to beat guys that have beaten Brad Pickett, his coach. Marlon Vera is a man who's beaten Brad Pickett. That's a cool storyline. Nathaniel Wood was running on a storyline for a very long time before joining the UFC. That his plan was to beat a bunch of guys that have beaten Brad Pickett, his coach. Marlon Vera's done that. Make it somewhere in the UK, and that would be a great storyline in the bantamweight division. But we're rooting for Nathaniel Wood, because if John Dodson wins, we've lost just another bit of hype. Imagine if Marlon Vera loses his next fight as well. We just need... Like, we have the current wave at bantamweight of Petr Yan. Marlon Moraes is also relatively new to the top of the division. Not too long ago, he joined the UFC. You got guys like Aljamain Sterling, of course, making a resurgence. But I just feel like we need another wave, because eventually, listen, in the next 6 months, one of Yan, Cejudo, Sterling, and Moraes, 2 of them are going to lose. And that's a reality. And we need more people to come up. I think Nathaniel Wood's got it. He's going to use his reach advantage. John Dodson likes to use a lot of movement and footwork, crazy energetic stuff, bounce around all over the place. I feel like Nathaniel Wood's going to keep it simple, blast inside leg kicks. I know he's going to be able to wrestle with John Dodson. I've seen him wrestle with some decent guys. He just completely held down Andre Ewell like he was nothing. Nathaniel Wood's got it in the bag. Jabs John Dodson's face off. If it goes to the ground, he'll get it there. How do I see it finishing? How do I see it finishing? I don't see John Dodson getting finished. I think I said that Nathaniel Wood would submit him. I'm going to bet that he does submit him, actually. It'll go to a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Nathaniel Wood... I don't know. I feel like if there's a finish, it's kind of John Dodson's favour because he's the one-punch knockout artist here. You know, Nathaniel Wood's a good... To be honest, Nathaniel Wood was KOing everyone before he joined the UFC, but now he's here. He's just submitting literally everybody. He rocks them on the feet. They panic shoot for... You know what? John Dodson's going to get rocked on the feet, panic shoot for a takedown, and get submitted while he goes for it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Goodbye.